going on, everybody? This is Jose Verador Jr., your neighborhood friendly insurance agent, and this is another episode of the Little Bit About Everything podcast. And today I have a very, very special guest, of course. None, none other than Krisalys. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. Just take it away.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Krisalys. Model, actress, entrepreneur, a little bit of everything, clubhouse moderator. Follow by Knuckle Facts. If you're not on there, you should. We're there Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. So join us.
Love the plug.
Yeah. Just a little shameless plug. But I'm just me. I'm chill. I feel like you get to know me a little bit more through an interview. So, vamos a darle.
I was gonna. I'm honestly really, really happy that we finally, got, I able to do this, and I'm really, really happy that you took the time to do so. Honestly, and very, very thankful. So again,
thank you for having me.
Oh, I took one. So you said you're into a lot of different things, right? So right now, what is your what
my
exactly
focus?
Focusing on right now?
My focus, honestly, right now, my baby is my Vinacle Facts Club. I can't even hold you. It's more of like, I started it with the intention more of like keeping myself accountable to like what I wanted for my life now. And then the book that we read, which is Iyanla Vanzant's Act of Faith. It got me out of a really dark place. And I was like, yo, if it did it for me, I know it could help somebody else out. And then I know it's something that I want to create and implement into my daily routine. So it was like an easy way to do it, and also like she leaves us off with a reflective question. And I always feel like the more I can interact with others and tap into other universes, which is what other people are, I expand myself. So it's like, okay, I found a platform for Vinacle Facts, which I initially wanted it to be a podcast. I have a list of like whole conversations that I want to do. That's in the coming days. We've only been open for like a month and a half now, but going strong, growing,
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've been in the room a few times, and so this is on Clubhouse. So those that are listening, right? So I think it's a super cool. I love the morning act of faith approach. That's to me, that's super dope. And the fact that actually you're very consistent with it. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's about being consistent. We can't like sleep on our laurels because then we're not consistent. You know what I mean? So
you gotta keep at it. You gotta keep at it.
So now, so kind of like moving, like looking forward a little bit here, because I know you got you're focusing on that particular book. So So what's next after? I assume at some point you're gonna.
So no, actually, that's something that I had a conversation with today in the back channels with my team. Honestly, I call them that. So one of my co-hosts is Lashina.
Yeah.
I feel like you've seen her on there as well. And then my other, he's kind of like a mentor, helper, kind of guide. AJ, he's there as well. AJ Farrell. So we kind of had a discussion, and we finally got a logo for the club. And I put that out. I connected my Instagram. I created a Facebook and an email for it. So we are in the back channels working on what's next. So after in the book, it's divided into 4 sections. So within the last section, it starts after the last day of September. So I feel like then we're already gonna we're looking into see what's going to be next after the book is done. But there's definitely going to be more. Definitely more. There's going to be different elements to Vinacle Facts as a whole, not just with morning acts of faith. So I'm just, it's coming. I'll keep you updated. Join us, and you'll see what we doing.
Absolutely. I will get better at actually, going into the room on a more of a frequent basis, because I enjoy the vibe, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a vibe.
You guys got a good thing going, so I definitely have to give you props for that. So now, as far as to the Vinacle Facts, room, that's obviously an awesome thing and an awesome endeavor that you kind of partaking on right now. But how are you, aside from just like the regular, if you can get an inside scoop, I guess, for lack of a better word. How are you looking to expand that? Because Clubhouse right now,
okay,
for a lot of us,
I see it as a community, right? So I already have my following on my modeling acting side within my portfolio page, which was honestly my personal page turned portfolio after I started being more consistent with the layout and the structure of how I was managing my page. So then that's why I also created my personal page, because I have OCD tendencies, and I felt a little bit constrained too within what I could post if it wasn't in the order that I wanted it, or I didn't have 3 and it was, I was like, I'm gonna go crazy. So I was like, okay, no, like let me get my portfolio page. So I have that following. So I'm using that to kind of funnel basically into the awareness of the community that I'm building within Vaina Con Facts, because I do see it expanding a lot. Because within the possibility of Clubhouse, people from all over the world can join in and listen. So that's always been my biggest admiration within the app, is that I have access to people all over the world, people that I probably wouldn't have met had it not been for Clubhouse. So when my expansion is literally within the Morning Acts of Faith room, as much as it helps me, it's about helping others as well. So within that, like my goal is by the end of this year to touch 1 million lives. So vamos a ver qué le damos.
There you go. Hey, that's what's up. And I'm just honestly, and I think you and I kind of spoke about this before, but I'm just really fascinated because you're young.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really young, and the fact that you have, and I think it was today or yesterday in your room, you were talking about like you have this ability to like understand things, and kind of what I mean, and that's not to like, I want to build you up here, you know what I mean, but it's true. Like you have a well like developed ability to just kind of understand.
I call it discernment.
Yeah, like, there you go. That's a good word, discernment. Yeah. So kudos to you. Now, one thing I want. So why do you call it?
Thank you, by the way.
Okay. So why did you call it Vaina Con Facts?
Okay, so literally, Leo, I was trying to I was thinking about it for a while after I moved out to Cali. I was like, yo quiero algo para mí, like something that really like represents who I am. So in more of like my Dominican and my New York side, right? Something that I recently said to somebody, that they were like, yo, I say that too. I'm a bit too New York for LA. So it was like, I knew it was like, LA is my new home, but like, I've always been so in tune to my roots, which I think is something a lot of Dominicans are as well. Like, yo, nosotros somos de la patria. Like, we really rep when we rep, which is something that I've always told myself, like, and others. I was like, yo soy Dominicana Americana. Like, my roots, like who I am, my blood, where I was born doesn't mean nothing. Like, the place that I was born, my mom, but like, okay, so I always think about it in the people that like are born on vacation. You can be born in Australia, but if you go back home and your parents are from this place and you're raised in that place, you can say you're Australian all you want, but are you really Australian?
No,
right? Like, so that's kind of how I've always thought about it. And I feel like, and also what I consider tradition, maybe within my family, but I also feel like a lot of Dominicans do this. Like, yo, the first few years of life, we go back to DR. I was in DR until like I started school in DR because I wasn't born there. And the papers, our parents be smart. They're like, yo, I'm gonna say aquí pa no tener que hacer todo eso, right? So within that element, it was like, okay, I always felt so more connected. Like, yo, being in DR, I be telling my mom, it's like, yo, I feel this freedom. I just feel at home and at peace when I'm, the first thing that I do when I get off, not even get off the plane, but the little threshold, I take a deep breath in. It just smells different. It just feels different. So within the name, I wanted to incorporate that and my New Yorkness too. So I was like, okay, what's something that we always say? And also within what I wanted to do, right? So what I started doing, because I wanted it to be a podcast, I just started noticing things that I could talk really passionately about, topics or like, a question. And I just started writing them down, right? And then within the element of that, I was like, okay, what is this about? Like, what am I trying to do, right? So it's like, I'm trying to evolve my brain, but I'm trying to talk with facts. Like, I'm trying to not
Yeah.
You know, no es lo loco tampoco que yo estoy
Yeah,
hablando.
yeah.
Like, I feel it. I know it's not like from me, but the way that my brain works, like I know random facts it could just pull, and I don't know. It just happens that way. So with that, I was like, yo, how can I bring all these elements together, right? And I was like, yo, what's something we always say? Hey, vaina, like, yo, and that's yo, fact, exactly, facts. And then in New York, something that we always say is facts. So it was like, yo, and I didn't know if I want to do it like vaina with facts, but yo, when I said vaina with facts, it just felt right. I was like,
yeah.
Ese, yeah.
That's good though. I mean, and so I again, just just your overall vision is. I dig it, yo. I dig it. So now, kind of diving a little bit deeper, into some of the things. So, like what is your drive? What drives you, and what is your vision? Kind of, either short term or long term.
So, my drive, I've always had this underlying, it's just part of my personality. I can't hold you like that. That's something I also understand that I've had to identify as something that I carry within me that not everybody carries. And then not everybody would understand why I do the things that I do based on the drive that I have that they might not possibly see that they could do for themselves because they don't have that attribute. So I've had to identify it. And then if I kind of look at it a little bit deeper apart from my nature, it also is my nurture, right? So my mom, like, my mom is one of the hardest working women that I know. Like, just facts. Like, that's what I'm gonna leave it at. Like, she really is like esa matatana. But also my dad, right? Like, both of my parents are small business owners. My mom has owned a salon for a good minute now before she was moving in other ones and built up the clientele to actually open her own. My dad has had a mechanic shop for over 30 years. Like, he's held down. He came to this country at 18, if I'm not mistaken, or he popped through Puerto Rico first to get married, and then came over here.
I feel you.
Right. So within that, my parents and my family, honestly, is like just entrepreneurship is in my blood. Like, they're all business owners. Within my mom's family, all of them are business owners. My dad is more of hardworking, just dedicated people, So that's, I feel like my drive is part of my both nurture and nature. Just, it's part of who I am and also what I know. And then my goal, short term, not even short and long term, is always self-development. Like, my name literally means evolution. I look to evolve mentally and in every way possible that I can within any element, and also seeing myself as a whole human being that has different emotions, that has different likes, that will change, because that's literally the one constant in the world is change. Is the one thing that you always hold to the day that you're born to the day that you die is your breath. And it's something that you cannot change, something you do not think about. And also change, you evolve every day. We're not the same people we were when we were 5 minutes ago before having this conversation, because we have new information that we can develop new thoughts from that weren't there before. So I always carry that quote in my head where it's like, I'm the youngest I'll ever be and the oldest I've ever been. So it's like, I'm just trying to be here, honestly.
I gotta tell you, that's quite a concept, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not, personally, I'm not that deep of a thinker, I mean,
I overthink everything.
and no, that's good though. That's good. I mean, that's that's wonderful. I mean, that's not a bad thing. But it's just somebody your age is just so, it's so weird.
I've been here a few times. I feel that. I feel like I've been here a few times. I can't hold you.
What do you mean?
I've always gotten that.
Okay.
Yeah, like a mí cuando chiquita me llamaban el lápiz. And then, yeah, yo hablaba, I started talking really young. And then I was always that kid in adult conversations, like always having an opinion. And then I've always been very mature for my age. I feel like that goes into the whole understanding aspect of myself. Like I just see shit differently.
Hey man, I can see it. I really can. Oh, se me fuiste. There we go.
My bad, yeah.
No, you're
My
good. You're
phone.
good. So another question then kind of, you know, like kind of come. Oh, somebody calling you to take a call?
No, it's my phone is dying, so I'm trying to make sure that it's actually charging because I thought it was charging and it wasn't. Now it
Gotcha. I
is.
got you. I got you. So
My bad.
now, as far as because again, you're like 22, 20, 21. Okay, you're correct. Right. So, but again, just because we've had different conversations and I've just seen how just how mature and just how much of a like how grown of a person you are. So with that being said, like what has been like one of the biggest lessons that you've learned so far in your life? And how did you obtain that lesson? How did you get there? How did you get to learn that lesson?
Yeah. Honestly, the first, like when you first like asked that question, the first thing that came to my mind was choose you. Choose you. Like choose you in every aspect of that word, of every aspect of that sense. To choose you, you have to understand you. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. It's all good.
To choose you, you have to understand you. You have to delayer you. You have to look deep into those beliefs, into those wants, into those desires, into those needs, and accept yourself for whoever that is, even the parts that you don't like. Because within that, you'll allow someone or people to come into your life as they are and do what they're meant to do in your life without you judging them, because as you do to yourself, you do to others, right? So the relationship that you have with yourself is a reflection of the relationship you have with anybody and everybody. So if you choose you, you can choose somebody else. But you have to accept yourself fully to be able to do that with anybody else. If you're highly critical, if you judge yourself, if you shame yourself, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like what you see, you're more likely to look at other people and not like what they see, because you don't have the perception of looking for things that you want to like. So choose you. How I came to that? Ooh, hi muchacho. By seeing what not choosing me did. A lot of times you learn what you like from understanding what you don't. And a lot of times you figure out what you don't by going through some hard shit, by going through seeing those choices play out and then not liking it. And then being like, yo, am I really going to do this again to myself? Because si vamos a seguir en este can, como que no está.
I feel you.
So yeah, like after every interaction, after every interaction, I'm gonna call it that I have within people, within environments, and within myself, I try to look at it as like, okay, now, let me clarify that. Now, in a way more awakened state, I feel within this year, it's been. This year has been a year, and I feel like I'm gonna be 21 forever, because it feels like I'm getting everything at the same time. Me está dando la galleta de galleta. And I'm just getting like every lesson thrown at me and everything, but that's also meaning that I'm ready for it, So within the lessons of me going through depression and anxiety and suicide thoughts and like just a whole bunch of mental turmoil, that was really just the pivotal point in my life where I couldn't take any more of me not choosing me repeatedly. And I might have been telling myself in those present moments of when those things were happening that I wasn't doing what I knew I was doing, which was not choosing myself. But they came in different packages, right? But if you understand the root, if you understand what something actually is. It doesn't matter como viene disfrazado. It doesn't matter however it comes. You can identify as whatever that is. So I wasn't identifying that lesson for what it was. And it kept repeating, as everything in life will. Life y el universo y Dios te va a mandar el examen cada día, hasta que tú aprendas. And then a lot of people just get stuck in that. They get stuck in specific tests because they don't want to take the time to look at that book, check that memory bank, and understand what it was that you did in that situation that did not work for you. And then active knowledge is power, not knowledge. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but what you do with it, right? So once you identify what that is, what you do with it. Si tú vas a seguir en lo mismo, tú vas a seguir pasando lo mismo. So move different. Choose you and move different. I think that's really what. Yeah, I think
that's very profound. I gotta tell you. And again, I go back to the thing I've always said, just because of your age. So it's just really, it's a really profound. Some things you've said. Now, like, was there a specific moment in which you kind of came to that? Like, what triggered that mentality of being more cognizant of choosing you, or at least choosing what, like, because sometimes that may come across as just being selfish, right? I'm going to choose me.
But the thing is, it's okay. But, it's okay to be selfish sometimes. It's literally fine to be selfish. You need to be selfish sometimes. That's how much love you have to have for yourself. That even if it looks selfish, you know that you're doing it for you and why you're doing it for you. It's okay for you to say no to somebody else if that means saying yes to yourself. Point blank, period. Tú naciste solo y vas a morir solo.
That's true.
And there's certain things that it doesn't matter who it affects. It's gonna affect people. Yo, all you have control over is the reaction that you have to the experiences you have. That's it. You can't control everything around you. And once you start wanting to, and once you try to, ahí que la vida te va a meter par de patá. Because you can't control other people. You can't control other people's perspectives because you haven't lived the experiences they've experienced to have the perspective that they have. You can have people, and you can find those people. You can find those people that you have this synergy with, that you guys feel you've lived similar experiences that you guys share and can connect within. But that doesn't mean that, there's nobody that's everything for somebody. There's nobody that's everything for somebody. My bad. There I was getting a call. Let me actually I am on sleep. I do not disturb. My bad.
No, I don't have.
Nah, like it's a recording. I be mad thing.
But I think, to a certain extent, you are you're definitely onto something, and this is where, like me, I guess for a little bit, to be a little bit of a contrarian, I sometimes I feel like, and I was actually having this conversation yesterday with a very good friend, a very good colleague. Yeah. And I think I may have mentioned this in one of the rooms that we were in. But I think that a lot of us are so focused on choosing me type of thing, that mentality. Y como que, it's almost like como que everybody wants to be a bohemian, like a bohemian, like you said, kind of, you just do you, and and that's good, that's great, but for me, I've always go back, and this, we've talked about it before. I'm a man of, I read my Bible. I'm a man of God.
Yeah.
I've always, Jesus always said that there's more happiness in giving than in receiving, right?
Yeah.
So, it was interesting because a couple of weeks ago I was doing some research on I'm gonna start writing, right? We're gonna start writing again, and
awesome.
I was doing some research. Yeah, I make it pass.
I see you. Okay.
So the thing is, I was doing some research and I came to a thing about the self-help industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
and how it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, right?
Definitely.
Between the books, between the seminars, the
Definitely.
podcasts, all these other things, right?
Yes.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry because everybody
Yes.
wants to self-help, self-improve, whatever the case may be.
Yes.
However, at no point, at least in my life, that I've ever, been, como que consciente, have we been as society more divided?
Definitely so.
Right, and this is why,
Definitely so.
and this is my argument, with regards to that. When everybody's pulling for themselves, when everybody's like trying to, when your primary, when your primary, or if our primary like motive, if our primary, motivation is to like, yo voy a hacer lo que a mí me convenga, lo que a mí me plazca. We may not be coming from a bad place, don't get me wrong. Right? But if our primary motivation is to like, I'm gonna do what I need to do for me, that right there creates division. Because but
no, go finish.
no,
I got
okay,
you.
ya me interrumpiste, ya se me fue el flow. I'm just kidding.
So within me saying that we have to choose yourself.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you though.
No. I know. I feel like it'll tie in though. But like, what I mean it with that is, in an element of also choosing yourself is knowing your place in the world, right? Is knowing your effect and the fact that you don't have to change the world. The world changed when you were born, because now it has to consider you in the possibility of every choice that you would possibly make and every person that you would interact with, correct? So when you have this aspect of changing the world, each person is a world. Once you learn how to take care of your world, you are able to understand how our world needs to be cared for, right? So in the space that we are now, we are very much divided, but we're in the stage of transition. A lot of people are waking up to the fact that we are an intercommunal species. We need each other. Yeah. That's just point blank, period. Doesn't matter how much like the reasoning behind technology is to facilitate a lot of things that we were not able to do before we had this technology, and able to facilitate certain things that we can automate so we can introspect and be able to actually focus on the things that matter, which are ourselves. Once you learn to take care of yourself, you know how to take care of the world. Now you don't have to think about doing la vainita que machines do for us now, even from finding and having access to information. So yes, the self-development industry is going to be a multi-billion-dollar company, because a lot of people are understanding the effect of self-development, of developing yourself so you can develop your position within this world. Everybody has a place in the world. So it's like, there will be leaders, there will be followers, there will be action takers, there will be policymakers. Everybody plays a part in their world. We can't expect everybody to want the same thing, because as human, the point is for us to be unique. Within that 2% that everybody wants to focus on, we're 98% exactly the freaking same. But we want to judge each other based on that 2%. We want to classify each other on this 2%. We want to create structure and boundaries upon that 2%, where it's like, yo, we're human. That's literally point blank. You were born a donde tú naciste. I was born where yo nací. And we have specific blood. That blood, that different element within what culture and what environment and what runs through my vein and which ancestors I came from, that's the difference. My DNA is different. I feel like I'm built different. I'm not built like everybody else. That comes from something. I'm meant to do something in this world. I feel that. I've always felt I've been born for greatness. And that's something that was developed within me as much as it is part of my personality. But again, that is, again, me choosing myself and understanding myself enough to say that and not feel like I'm being arrogant or not feel like I'm not being humble. You know what I mean? No, but is that level of awareness. You got to know yourself to be able to talk about yourself. You got to know yourself to be able to explain yourself to somebody. You got to know yourself to be able to like sit down and be like, yo, dissect. Oh, I'm like this because of this. Yo hago eso por esto. Yo veo esto así por esto. You got to take some time and you got to dig a little deeper. And it takes some practice. It takes some digging. And I don't act like I'm not acting like I know myself completely, because I know there's still a lot of delayering. And again, I'm only 21 and I'll be trying to do too much. But there's a lot in there that
there's layers you still gotta get through.
Yeah, there's layers. But I do understand that I feel like I've peeled back a lot more layers than most people. I've taken that pain. I've been through the struggle, but I understood that I had to call out. As some part of my brain knew that I had to get out of that really dark place of what I usually call my dark awakening in my valley. I had to go through that to develop the next stage in my life and let pieces of myself die that no longer served me and no longer served my purpose within the world. Because it was one of the biggest things was I could barely talk in that stage in my life. Like a few months ago, out loud. I couldn't articulate myself. I was so disconnected from myself and who I was and what I wanted that I literally couldn't explain myself. I couldn't identify what it was that I wanted to say. And I wasn't confident enough that what I did want to say was the right thing. Once I let all that shit go, now it's like, yo, I say what I say. I mean it, what I mean. You take it how you want to take it. Así lo que es. But that's, again, accepting myself. That's me choosing me.
It's just, and like I said, I think that is, that there's certainly a lot of value in, again, just going back to what I, kind of what the Bible says, right? You got to love your neighbor as you love yourself. It's just, so for me, it's really, I just think that, and again, some people are balanced with it, and those people are usually gonna be like, como que more on the side of kind of doing the right thing always, type of thing. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of us are just so focused on like just, the self-improvement thing, and
I feel like the aspect that you're thinking about is when people are, I feel like, in the aspect of greed and of wanting something in return and not really focusing in on how they're impacting society, right?
I think what I'm referring to, and a lot of it is when people think como que to a certain extent, they think of themselves to the extent that they don't really care what the what the consequences are,
the impact that they're leaving,
they're having on other people, right? Like for example, like I'm a parent, right? And and I'm sure you and I we're obviously somebody's child, right? And okay, sometimes I'm sure we make decisions as young kids, and even now when I'm older, like, and those decisions that I make affect, like my family, right? Whether it's my children or whether it's like my mom, my dad, my sisters, like that sort of thing, like it affects the family, and so like I just think that so much of that energy of like focusing on self. I always say, if I sit down with you, Krisalys, and I say, all right, so what do you want to do? Like, what is whether it's a personal goal, whether it's a professional goal, whatever. What do you want to do?
My why?
Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And I help you get to where you need to get. Mm-hmm. First of all, I'm gonna feel a certain, like a huge level of fulfillment because I actually helped you get to where you need to get to. And then you got to where you got to. So you guys are gonna feel, you're gonna feel great because you got to where you got to. Yeah. But if in return, you do the same for me and you help me get to where I need to get to, we're both gonna get to where we're both gonna reach our goals, but not in a way where we're kind of like trying to do it ourselves. Because at some point, if you pulling for you and I'm pulling for me, we might be cool now, but at some point our goals aren't going to align. Mm-hmm. And then that's going to draw, that draws people apart. I guess you say it. At some point, because that's another thing too. Oh, I'm just outgrowing my circle. I'm just outgrowing the people around me. At some point, you're going to outgrow so many people. Like, you're gonna be quite lonely, or you're not gonna have people
but
that are really.
I also understand it as in within accepting yourself, you know the people that you need in your life, and you understand the elements that of the things that you might be lacking that somebody around you might have where you want them around. That's also a form of accepting yourself. So within the element of like, let's say of you needing support, having a friend that you know you could call when you're having a hard time, right? Or within a business, those people that you have to delegate certain jobs to, because you understand that while you might be able to do all of these things, you know that efficiently thinking about it as a business, you know, you need other people. Again, accepting yourself enough to understand that you can't do it all.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, so going back to the whole, to you kind of brought it up there. So then, how do you take in your specific case, like how do you take all these things you've accrued, all these lessons you've accrued over time, and like now bring them back to your business, right?
Yeah.
To whatever your plans are, and then how do you use that particular, again, all these lessons that you've learned and accrued over the years to kind of pay it forward, right? And try to
Clubhouse, bro. Literally within my community, that's literally the point. That's literally the point. That's it. That's how I do it. Literally within Clubhouse, I'm able to again be able. I tell everybody every day in the room, I'm like, yo, I appreciate y'all because y'all allow me to live within my purpose, within my why of joy, connection, and impact. I am joyous every morning when I get to wake up and understand that I'm learning something and I'm evolving. I'm able to connect with amazing people that I probably wouldn't be. And I could do that in my bed, in wherever space y'all at. But we're connecting, we're sharing space, we're sharing energy with one of the most powerful things that a human has, which is their voice. It's able to be able to articulate thoughts as something that somebody else can understand, right? And then impact. These are people from all walks of life that as much as I am receiving from them, they are also receiving from me within whatever insight I am able to give with what I read within the book and what I get, and then also opening up a space where we're able to connect and be reflective in a lot of different aspects of our life. So we're able to grow. And that's what I feel my purpose is to be ever growing, is to be ever evolving. And within that, I also understand the impact that I want to have and the legacy that I want to leave. And it's a positive one. It's one of generational wealth. It's one of breaking generational curses. It's one of evolvement. So within that, it's always been about my community. I'm a very family oriented person. I'm very community based. So within me feeling like I'm building a community, that's how I feel like I leave and I do my purpose while connecting it to that aspect.
That's awesome. You are incredible. So then what
Don't make me blush. Me pongo mona.
No, tranquilo. So now what values do you find are most important in like your personal relationships? And then of course in business, right?
Yeah. I actually wrote these down one day as my brand values, right? And it's authenticity, love. There's another one. Well, I think it's natural. Excuse me. And positivity. Yeah, there we go. Those are them.
So authenticity,
love. The last two are the ones that throw me up. Positivity. There's and natural and just nature.
Okay. Natural. So then how do you implement these? Because kind of break this down for me, right? Because authenticity, it's a very broad term, right?
Okay, so it's not. If you think about my answer to the last question, is literally just that: choosing you, being authentically you, literally, just that's all it is. Be who you are, however you are, in whatever moment that you're in. Just be you.
Okay, and then you said love, right?
Yeah, love. It's the most important thing in life.
Ahí estamos viéndonos.
I'm white.
Estamos ahí. And then you said positivity.
Yeah, nature and positivity. So within positivity, it's all about a mindset. Literally, the whole world, your perspective, whatever you see, it's all about aquí arriba. So you got to be positive in whatever aspect and whatever little thing you can do to maintain that and train your mind for positivity. That's what you will experience. And then within nature, it's more of I'm natural, literally just in my within my personality. And I also love nature, and I also understand that we are to learn from nature and be of creation and appreciate and understand and care for nature.
That's, I gotta tell you, I'm very, very impressed. I really am. I'm very impressed by you. And like it's just again, it's just so like it's just not common to have somebody your age. And of course, I do think that as you grow and just naturally get older and you experience different things,
Yeah.
some of these concepts may change a little bit, may tweak a little bit, and that's fine. But it's just amazing to see how like I don't even know the word, but you just have like this ability to just like be like
essence.
complex.
I feel like it's the essence. Like
exactly. Like just like como que you have a knack of being, or you have this ability to be like so complex, but not in a way that's complicated. And I know it sounds like kind of crazy, but
no, I definitely understand that. I actually got that in my horoscope today, that I have the ability to help other people understand.
Yeah, like I'm just so like I really am just so impressed by you. You know what I mean, per se.
Thank you, thank you.
And it's just really amazing. It's just incredible how dope. Yeah, it is.
Pero calm down.
No, because
whatever.
No, I ain't saying you all that now, girl. Bájale dos. Te me está yendo. No, but but in all seriousness, like it's just because again, I talked to a lot of like, and I was young. I was 21 myself, not actually, a long time ago. But so it's just a different, it's just a different mentality, and that not everybody that age has. Like I said,
I grew up really fast. I left my house at 18. Yeah, like I dipped, and I had to do with me. So within that,
and I think that has definitely contributed. But trust me, I know a lot of people who have left their home young. Que hicieron un tollo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, so while that does help because you got to grow fast, that in itself isn't necessarily, leaving home isn't necessarily conducive to like developing.
No, definitely not. I definitely did it when I was ready.
You know what I mean? So it's just,
not understanding really that I was ready, but it showing me what I did with it showed me that I was ready. Yes, definitely.
Now, one of my favorite things to talk about is books.
Books, right? Cool. Yes, I'm a book.
So I know, I know you reading the book that we share our thoughts on Clubhouse, but outside of that particular book, and we spoke about it earlier.
Yeah.
Any other books that you've read that are like, damn, like super dope?
Yes, I got a list for you. I got a list for you. So
good.
Right now, the audiobook, because I'm trying to get more into audiobooks. I have it on pause right now. I haven't really been on it as I probably should. But Think and Grow Rich. I'm hearing that by I'm not gonna say his name because I feel like I'm gonna fuck up.
Right here.
But yeah, Think and Grow Rich.
Hill.
I got to like the second chapter in the last few months, and I was like, like just with that little bit, I was like, Tato, vamos a darle. But then a book that definitely started the opening of my mind was Robert Kiyosaki, not Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's his other one, the 21st. What is it? God, I have the book and I had read it before. The 21st century something business, something like that. 21st century something business.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. That book is a freaking must. It's a must.
5 a.m. Club.
5 a.m. Club.
Let me write it down because
I started implementing the 5 a.m. Club, and I didn't even finish the book. And I've also allowed myself that grace, and I also understand that a lot of times within my previous experience of me being a bookworm was more of an escape for me. So I was more into like, the romance and the fantasy and the different genres and stuff. Yeah. But then as I developed more and I started looking for more of myself and things that are just going to help me mentally and not run away from myself, I started getting into the more self-development books. Wait. First of all, before I even got into the whole a book that I feel everybody needs to read is The Alchemist.
The Alchemist?
You haven't read The Alchemist? Yo, suelta todo. Suelta todo. Pablo Cuello, yo, suelta todo. Y lee ese libro, bro. The Alchemist.
I read that.
It's gonna blow your mind. And it's so simple. It's a simple story. But there's so many gems and so much value within the lessons that you receive in that. I'm gonna read it again. I've read it like 2 or 3 times.
Nice.
A documentary people should read is The Secret, even though there's some good gems in there. There's a lot of philosophy you're like, but you have to it's levels to it. It's levels to it.
Yo no me la complico mucho.
¿Eh?
Que yo no me la complico mucho. Si yo
tengo
que estar reading between the lines and I'm trying to read that book is not for me.
No. You don't read the book. Watch
watch or whatever.
Yeah. A lot of people can't get through it.
I'm gonna give you a gem too.
Oh, tell me.
And this to me has been like, y mira que yo he leído mucho libro. I read a lot of books. Yeah. This has been, at the very least, like a top 3 book that I've read.
Yeah.
And it's called The Obstacle is the Way. By Ryan Holiday.
Okay, I even like the title.
I'm gonna send you a copy.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yes.
I'm gonna send you a copy.
I like that idea.
It is such a great book. And then the other one that I'm reading right now, que te puedo decir también, it's probably gonna be like a life-altering book. It's called Atomic. I actually have it. It's called Atomic Habits.
Yo, mándamelo los dos.
Está bien, yo te lo no es nada. Eso no es nada. Eso es un libro nomás. Vete eso se envía. But those 2 books, so to be completely honest, like Ryan Holiday,
I've heard that name
has
before.
become probably like my favorite author. Just because a lot of his books have to deal with, or a lot of his books kind of deal with just like mental like strength, overcoming obstacles.
I love that. Yeah,
he's written a couple of books actually, and they kind of all. Another one that's amazing. Oh, this one is dope too. Ego is the Enemy.
Oh,
yo.
Wait, when you said that one, another one came to my mind where it's I'm a badass. I think that's espérate. I have to look it up because I need you that one.
That's the lady that wrote it, right?
Huh?
That was a woman that wrote it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Where's my library?
I think I have it somewhere here in my house because I do remember either looking at it or purchasing it.
Where is it? Oh, and also Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. You don't know who Jay Shetty is?
No.
Yo, espérate, Jose, stop whatever you're doing too. Go follow that man. Go follow his podcast On Purpose. That man is a revolutionary. He's the next Gandhi. Like, he's a Gandhi.
Oh, de ese señor que tiene como que la barba, que es el otro.
No, él tiene barba, pero como tú, él no tiene la barba larga, ¿no?
Okay, all right. Because there's
But nah,
something.
that man. Oh, you're thinking of
Listen, I
the
don't want.
60 Minutes guy,
I don't know.
Leatherman.
Yeah, you know, it can just all like about. You know what happens?
What?
Like there's literally, and this is just me.
Yeah.
A la gente get so caught that they get so caught up in the way people embellish words and philosophies that they don't really como que grasp the nonsense behind it. So I was, I don't listen to hip hop anymore.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, I loved hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget Jay-Z in the song said, just because you don't understand them, it doesn't mean that he's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I mean? Because la gente sabe, like people get so caught up in the way. There was this one gentleman, and one of these philosophers, he was talking about like that we don't raise children. Like a parent shouldn't say oh, I'm raising my children. He was like, you raise cattle. You raise cows. I'm like, mi hermano, pero
No, you
and he
definitely
tried to
raised
flip
children.
it and he tried to turn it into something that was like, como
Okay.
que una filosofía como que de esa loca.
So
I'm
so
like,
so that's
dude,
definitely not Jay Shetty.
all
Jay
right,
Shetty is
yo,
literally
because I'm
about
like, I'm
he's
really
that
like,
just having conversations. Like listen to him. Like I'm so serious. Like it's not even no es mierda. Él no habla mierda.
no, it's fine. Don't get me wrong. I don't criticize anyone's, but it's
Go
just
look
like,
him up, bro.
but yeah, no. So
I
text me
feel
because I'm
you.
probably not. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna spell his name, but text
Jay
me.
Shetty. Shetty. That's it.
What?
Jay.
SH.
Shetty.
Okay, that's a tough last name.
Jay Shetty.
That's a tough last name to have.
Shetty. Oh yeah, it is. Ha! But he's Indian. He's Indian.
This is
So
bad.
maybe like the oh no, he's actually from England. So if they have he has an accent. So maybe lo dice raro. Yo no sé.
Bueno, it doesn't matter. I'm sure whatever it is. But let me say these are the things. This is why I love having these conversations because like I really have become more of an avid reader. I used to read a lot when I was younger. I used to write a lot when I was younger. But life gets in the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We gotta find time.
But during the pandemic, I kind of became a little bit more, como que más decisive to know. I got to spend some time on reading. I'm not gonna like, no, I'm gonna read a book every week or every month, whatever. I start reading a book, however long it takes me. That's what it takes me. But the obstacle is the way. That book is.
I got no. Tú me lo vas a mandar.
I'm gonna send it to you. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna send it to you. All right. So lastly, listen. So now that we kind of we spoke about literally just about everything, right? and just any last words you want to leave us with. Of course, just the stage is well, como tú, oh yeah, volviste. The stage is yours. Go right ahead.
Any last words? Oof. Okay. I don't know. Just enjoy the journey, envision the destination, accept that the destination might not look like you're expecting it to, but understand what you want so you can identify it when it actually comes and accept it when it does, because it doesn't come often, or it can come often depending on how open you are to receiving the frequency of abundance. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it there. I'll put a period to it.
Drop the mic.
Joining me on my Viacom Facts room, and
yes.
Keep...
So I'm gonna give her a plug too. So she's on Viacom Facts every morning, right? Monday through Friday, right? 7:45.
It's 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, 5 a.m. Pacific.
Eso mismo.
Por ahora, until I get back to Cali. While I'm in the East Coast, it'll be at 8 a.m.
And then, and so I'm just so happy to have met you. I'm so happy that we're getting to do this. Hopefully, when you're here in Boston, we'll be able to, link up and at least, go out for a cup of coffee or something. And
Definitely.
again, we're gonna continue to have these conversations because I do.
Woo!
I
I'm so with it.
We wanna, I have my own club on my own room or whatever it's called on Clubhouse, and it'd be nice to, just kind of collaborate and all that good stuff. But I want to thank you so much, Krisalys, for doing this and for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
It's like midnight right now.
Yo, facts, van a ser a 12.
You know what I mean? But people don't. But we have to find a way to do it.
Yeah, and, we did it. Cuando hay ganas, hay poder.
There you go. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right, honey. So te envío un abrazo. Que tú sabes que te quiere de gratis y para colmo un montón. So
de lo gratis.
We'll be seeing each other soon, right, hon?
Definitely. Nos vemos ahorita.
Be good.
Bye.